And what war did you serve in?
World War II.
In what division? What?
South Pacific.
South Pacific. And were you Army, Air Force?
Navy.
You were the Navy. All right. Tell us a little bit about how you got it. Were you drafted or did you join?
They drafted me, and I had a choice, Army or Navy, and I figured I'd rather drown and have somebody run a bayonet through me, so I went to the Navy. And that time I wish I made a mistake.
Okay.
Right. I went to up to Great Lakes, and then Great Lakes, went down Charleston, picked up a ship, AKA we had 26 landing craft. And we went through the Panama Canal. They pushed one on board ship, they put me in mess cooking, and I had served coffee and juices. And I was passing out pineapple juice, and I'd take a shot, and I took a shot of it, but now I had to run outside and heat my cookies because and then I ended up down the engine room then, and we went down through the Panama Canal and out to over to Hawaii, and when I first went on Honolulu, went ashore, I forgot to salute some officer, and so they sent me back to the ship right away, but I got over that. And then we practiced landing on Maui, and then we went to Guam. We loaded up with Marines, and we went to Iwo Jima. And when we're coming into Iwo Jima, and everything was all lit up, they was planes were bombing, and everybody was shelling them. There was a battleship beside us shelling the island, and our ship was shaking, and we had 26 landing craft. LCIs and LCVPs. LCIs more for infantry, LCMs were equipment. I was on AKA, and we lost half our landing craft on that island.
I was in the Army Air Corps. Well, the Navy had an Air Corps, and there were other parts of the armed forces that had Air Corps too. But so did the Army.
Okay.
And I was in college at the time, and if you were 18 years of age, you were ripe to be dragged in. Then I got assigned to an air base in South Carolina, in Greenview, South Carolina. And I spent about a year and a half there as the maintenance engineering officer. It was our job to see that the planes fly, and you had to keep them up in the air. So that's how I spent that part of it. Instead they put me on a train from South Carolina to Los Angeles. And
Were you Marines? Did you
Yeah, in the Marine Corps.
Okay, I missed that. And what was your position? What did you do?
It was like a maintenance department where we, had to make things. Like in Japan, we had to make toilets and so things like that. You name it. It was what we had done. Water reservoir, like overseas, just whatever needed to be done, we were called upon. Over to Japan, just like what they call it was like a free time kind of a thing. So it was like a bonus for being over there and all this kind of stuff. So in Korea, yeah, that was probably that was by far the longest time over there.
Yeah. Now, were you drafted or did
No,
you?
volunteered.
You volunteered. And how old were you?
Like all the rest of those suckers. I was 18, I believe.
You were 18. Okay. Had you finished high school?
Oh yeah.
You finished high school.
infantry,
Infantry. Okay.
Army. I was the first sergeant of D Company, which is a heavy weapons company, heavy machine guns, mortars, and such things as that. And I was fortunate enough to be able to duck, so nobody shot me. Well, I was stationed here in the States. Let's see, I got 4 different places I was at. But I got my basic training in Washington, the state of Washington. And then we went from Washington to several different places. And then we ended up in Europe.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Does my hair look all right?
You look amazing. You need to do that for us. Okay.
Well, my company, D company, was attached to A company. And we were up on the line one day and we took our objective. And I can't think of the captain's name. But he said to the sergeant, he says, go see if there's anybody in that hole over there. So he said, okay. So he asked the German, says, any more Germans in that? The German says, 9. So the guy says, well, tell them all to come out then.
B&W, oh, I got married. I didn't get married till I was 27 because I was just a kid and I had a little bit of chasing around to do before I got out. So we didn't get married till I was 27, and me and my wife were married 62 years. And we had a great time, and we traveled for 25 years after I got out.
So you stayed in the area?
If you'll remember, there was a guy named MacArthur.
Uh-huh.
I shall return. When he got chased out of down there, and he was coming back, and the army was coming up. We were going to fly overhead and drop all kinds of stuff to him, food and medicines, whatever was needed. But somehow or other, the army was coming up. It was doing so good, they didn't need us. So no, instead they put me on a train from South Carolina to Los Angeles.
It sounds dumb, but getting injured, not from war, but some boo-boo. The ship had just landed in Japan. It was my duty to unload these huge trucks they had that when they took the stuff off the ship, and they took these items to the Marine Air Base. Well, lo and behold, I had no sooner got off the ship, and I was in charge of unloading the ship with all the goods that we needed. And I jumped off the rear of the church, and would you believe, got smacked by someone and ended up in the hospital for a month. And you know, there was nothing about, well, I'm gonna get compensated. You were in, that's all. But that was about it. That was a terrible experience, but you can imagine. So yeah, jumped off the side of this big low boy, I guess they call it. And I mean, it just hit me, and it went flying over the car. Why I'm still here, I have no clue.
So,
in the early part of the war, first though, I got married, and she could stay with me as long as we stayed in the States.
okay.
But soon as I got over there, of course, she had to go home. Okay, so I wired her and told her to meet me in New Orleans. We were going to have a little go of it there. So, so when I got
You still are a young fella.
but I tell you, we didn't do anything that the Air Force didn't do, see? Yes, sir.
And what do you mean by
Take 5. No, we had nothing to do. The Air Force did the whole thing. So,
But
Right,
Nick?
Dick?
You were on the ground, right?
What?
You were on the ground with infantry,
yeah,
Right.
on the ground and under the ground. And
not working at the scenes.
Well, the Marine, as far as the Marines are concerned, there is no army, you know.
That's right.
We were the greatest. I mean, forget it. What's the arm? Hey, didn't know how to spell it.
Good for you.
He was in the service and he was sent to Korea. I used to rock my baby. My baby was only 6 months old when Paul was called. And I used to rock my baby in a rocking chair that I had downstairs and pretend he was upstairs.
So, did you write letters back and forth to each other while he was
yes.
there? Yeah. Do you have some of them? Did you save them?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Did he write back?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the time, it was very hard.
Yeah. And was he drafted, or did he go in willingly? Did he sign up to go?
He didn't sign up, but he wasn't forced to go.
Okay.
Our baby was 6 weeks
Oh
old.
gosh. Oh my goodness gracious.
Was on the way from New Caledonia to Guam to pick up a load for the big one. When the war was over, that was one of the happiest days of my life.
And how long were you in?
2 years.
2 years.
By the time to get out, was supposed to decommission up in Wilmington. And we used to have to go short of landing craft. They told me they put my name on discharge list, and I had them sea bag packed in 5 minutes. I was ready to go. Waited all night to get off.
Good for you. And so how long were you in? How many years?
3 years, 3 months.
3 years and 3 months.
Mr. Truman put a little extra on it. It was a 3-year term, but things were not real great as far as the conflict was concerned. So he just tacked on another 3 months, which we all appreciated, you know.
Sure. So were you part of it then when the war was over?
Oh yeah.
And do you remember that day?
It was so much excitement that, you know, I couldn't possibly tell you that we were just so thrilled that the thing was over, and, you know, and many of us most of us had survived, and that's why we were there, you know. So yes, very, very happy. And
Were you there when the war ended?
No.
You had already returned home? So how long were you over there?
I guess about 3 years.
And what was it like when you came home?
Well,
Did you keep in touch with any of...
I didn't have any kids then, so I couldn't talk to them. But, I had a lot of friends.
So you were what, like 20 then? 21 when you got...
21,
Okay.
and that was, that's when I was a young fella.
You still are a young fella.
I had 16-day boat ride over to what?
Over in Japan or the Philippines?
Philippines, that's the word I was looking for.
In Manila? Mm-hmm.
And about halfway out, we were about 8 days out, and then we got waked up one morning and the radios were blaring, "The war is over, the war is over, the war is over," you know. We kept going. And I stayed over there when, 8 more days. We arrived, and we stayed there about a year and a half.
Wow. Now, were you drafted or did
No,
you
volunteered.
volunteered? And how old were
Like
you?
all the rest of those suckers. I was 18, I believe.
You were 18. Okay. Had you finished high school?
Oh, yeah.
You finished high school. Okay. And I know you have some pictures there.
Yeah, some of these are from my friends over in Korea, some of my buddies. And when I used to be pretty good-looking boys, this other one over here.
Hold that up so we can see it. There you go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. So that was when you enlisted then?
That's true. It's just maybe within a year of after I enlisted in the Marine Corps.
Real quick, what have you got in your box there?
This is the 201 file. This is all the orders that, where they went sending me here and there and so forth. But
And why do we call it a 201? What does that mean?
I don't know. That's the number they had for it.
And you kept this all this time.
Yes, but some of these papers are a little torn up. But what it is, it's also, every time I'd go to school or something, it also covers everybody that was with me.
Okay.
And it tells where they went too, where they were sent from it. So actually, I've got a copy of a lot of these guys that were all with me all the time.
And so that's what you call it, your 201 box.
Yeah.